Hi, welcome. Today I'm going to talk about this beech tree, and in fact I'm going to chop it back. I will show you how to do a chop like this. I will show you how to treat the wound so that it can close over as easily as possible, and I'll set this tree on its way to become a bonsai. This beech was collected last year when a neighbor was taking out a beech hedgerow, and at the time it was a lot longer. I cut it back to a stump, I planted it up, and now it has recovered quite well. But as you can tell, the leaves are all misshapen. It is misshapen because of aphids. There's a specific kind of aphids that comes to beech, and they're quite hard to deal with unless you are willing to use a lot of poison. You can tell I'm doing this trunk chop in the middle of the growing season. There's a good reason for it. Many people advertise chopping in the middle of winter. I like to do it in summer because when I cut now, the tree is capable of responding to the damage straight away, start healing the wound, or actually start growing over the wound, rather than having to wait several months before the tree starts growing again. This is why I do big chops in early summer. Naturally, that requires that you know where there's buds. There needs to be an active bud to start chopping. I'll have to check. There's a nice trunk line going up, then it curves, and at some point you want the tree to curve back. There's a bud here, but then I think the curve is too short. There's a bud here, but maybe that curve is too long, so I could go all the way to this one. When putting a saw to your tree, make sure you tie the foliage away, otherwise it can get caught in the saw. You can see all the aphids flying up. These are drastic chops, so make sure that you don't give the tree too much stress in the rest of the year. It needs to be watered well, it needs to be fertilized well. Before I put cut waste on the wound, I'm going to take my carving bit and I'm going to carve the edges so they're nice and clean. And I'm going to make this a little bit deeper so that the bark can grow into it over time. For this, I have a special attachment on my rotary tool. The ones you normally get in a hardware store are not sufficient. You need something with very coarse blades. Otherwise it will stuff up. Within a couple of minutes it will fill up with the moist wood. This was made to carve moist wood. I'm using it at about 20,000 rotations per minute, so it is a dangerous tool. Wear glasses. This Japanese cut paste holds better or sticks less to your fingers if you moisten your fingers before you apply it. That way it will not stick to your fingers, but it will actually stick to the tree. So that was a bad example. I thought I'd finished, but here there's an old root and I'm going to carve this off as well to make a more smooth transition. The work done so far is quite heavy for the tree to deal with, so I'm not going to wire out every single branch. I'm just going to put a few wires in. I want this branch to go in here. I want this to clearly become the new leader, and the branch that is sitting down here should really cascade down a little bit. Doing that now, while the branches are still green, means that by the end of the season they've set, rather than when I do it in 2 years' time, it will take 2 or 3 seasons to set. So I'm going to do some light wiring. I've got some 1.5 millimeters of aluminium. Might need double wire for this, but this is lighter to apply and therefore it damages the bark less, which I think in this stage is a very good thing. Be careful, these attachments after carving are very weak because you've removed part of the surrounding wood. No pressure. What? Is the camera on? Yeah, I know. I've just been waiting for a year to work on this tree. So if you're watching this, do what this guy says, not what he does. This is such a bad example. I was not going to wire this whole tree out. And now what have I done? In fact, hands off. I'm going to stop. Rubbing alcohol with soap in water. So we're now 3 weeks later and we see a little crack appearing here in the cut paste. This is a very good sign. It shows that at least here and here and here and here the cambium is starting to expand, covering the cut area. At the same time we can see some new leaves are coming and they do not have any aphids on it, so this tree is well on its way and I have good hopes for the future.